Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. Right now you're watching our in-depth video review of the Lenovo IdeaTab A1000. If you're all about cheap Android tablets, you're going to find it with this guy, seeing that it starts off only at $160. After playing around with the Nexus 7, it's hard to fall in love with anything else, and that's what we find here with the Lenovo IdeaTab A1000. First and foremost, the design's rather boring. Nothing really extraordinary about it. It's big, it's wide, and most importantly, it's super heavy, especially for something that's 7 inches. And the choice of materials is rather inferior. You have a glossy white plastic casing, which really scratches very easily. The screen is just downright scary, especially in this day and age. It's a 7-inch 1024 by 600 TFT display on here, which produces a paltry pixel density of 170 pixels per inch. So it's not the strongest when it comes to details. And we see it here in the web browser. Things are just super grainy looking. On top of that, it lacks those fine details that we like. Worse yet, it's just the poor color reproduction. It's very weak, bland colors, washed out, poor viewing angles too, weak brightness output. So when it comes to outdoor visibility, you can pretty much forget about it. Depending on how you hold it or look at it, there are 2 speakers. There's one on the bottom edge and another on the top. As you can probably tell, it doesn't employ separate Android capacitive buttons. They're actually incorporated into the interface. In the top left-hand corner, we just have a front-facing VGA camera. Around the tablet's trim, we find all the customary ports and buttons. We have the micro USB port for charging data connectivity, 3.5mm headset jack, dedicated power button, a little bit on the flat side but has a nice response. You have the volume control on the right edge, very distinctive. You have also a very handy, useful micro SD card slot right here to increase its storage capacity. And rounding things out, on the bottom here is just the standard microphone, and it looks like there's another slot here, but it's actually just a placeholder. It seems like they're going to have different versions of this tablet that will pack cellular data connectivity. Aside from the set of widgets here on the home screen, it's a mostly stock Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean experience here on the A1000. The app panel is laid out in your traditional form. The notifications panel, a little bit of difference. You have some quick connectivity features on top here. You could also set it to the orientation lock. The lock screen is typical Android. You have the circular ring. You could access the camera, Google Now, or just unlock the device. The widgets here are nice. Nothing really stellar about them. You can interact with them, and they're broken down to media, social, and tools. As a whole though, nothing really over the top. It doesn't really enhance the experience in any way. This is just painfully slow. It's not outfitted with the most cutting-edge hardware. Instead, what you get is a dual-core 1.2 GHz ARM Cortex-A9 processor with the PowerVR SGX 531 processor with 1 GB of RAM. Now that translates to just one sluggish performance. You could see some jitteriness with its operation here with the live wallpaper. It handles basic tasks with some ease, but of course, you know, it's just seems very delayed with its movements. Not the fastest thing. Again, if you have a lot of patience, it shouldn't be a problem, but if you want something that's faster, you're not going to find it here. Even though its processor might be inept when it comes to other tasks, when it comes to typing up messages with its on-screen keyboard, it's good enough. The layout is ample for a 7-inch display, and our thumbs are able to encompass the entire layout. On top of that, a good amount of responsiveness too, so it isn't that bad. If you're going to use it in landscape though, it's going to feel rather cramped. We won't say it's the worst thing we've seen, but the web browsing experience is tolerable enough for us to accept. It doesn't have the tightest control when it comes to tracking our finger, but for the most part, it is more than usable. As expected, we have the Google Play Music application that's preloaded with the A1000. It's the only one preloaded too. As far as the audio quality with its 2 speakers, it's good, it's strong, but doesn't have as much of a commanding presence. And at the loudest volume setting, we do hear a little bit of strain and sharpness with its output. The screen is nice and ample for the video watching experience. On top of that, there's a lot of codec support out of the box. So you have DivX, H.264, MPEG-4, and even XVID. But the thing is, the display is just such a low quality. It doesn't really have that wow factor with it. Poor viewing angles combined with its weak brightness output and even its blind colors really doesn't make it the most appealing thing to watch videos. Cheap Android tablets are in abundance, no doubt, but after the recent Nexus 7, it's proven to us what it means now to be a 7-inch tablet into space. With the Lenovo IdeaTab A1000, though, it's nice to see that its price point starts at $160 for the base 8GB model, but for $160, you're getting a significantly inferior product, and you get to see that in its design, its performance, and its spec sheet. It just seems so dated in every category, and honestly, if you're just all about savings, you're not going to worry too much for the $160 cost attached to this, but for a little bit more money, we'd recommend picking up something a lot more grand than this guy here. It just feels like it's not within the times at this point. So if you'd like to learn more about the Lenovo IdeaTab A1000, guys, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.